Hi, Virgo. It's Angela. We are going to do your soul guidance reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And anybody else who happens upon this video, the guidance could be for you as well. It's intuitively led. This is not predictive. If this topic does not resonate with you at this time, it's because energy doesn't really do time. And you could maybe put it in your pocket and save it for another time, or check your moon and rising signs on my channel and see if maybe those resonate a little better. Remember, this is energetic. It's not literal. It's not, this is what's happening in your life right now, and this is how you go about doing it. It's suggestive, it's intuitive, and it's on an energy level from your soul's perspective. We usually pull an oracle card to guide the topic of the reading, and this at this time we're using the Earth Magic deck. And for you, Virgo, the card I pulled is the Autumn Equinox Release. So love it because your birthday is in August, and happy birthday, by the way. You know, in the fall, in the autumn, that's when the leaves, you know, release from the tree. They live in cycles, if they're that kind of a tree, right? Not like a pine or something. I think they stay. I don't know, but I think it's deciduous, the trees that lose their leaves and then rest in the winter and then grow again in the spring. There's a cycle there. And for us as human beings, energetically, that is an important step in our growth. We let go of old paradigms or beliefs or ways of being at various times in our life, as we shed some of that extra baggage or extra energy that's been holding us back from progress. It opens up the path for us to move forward with a lighter load, right? Sometimes maybe at one phase in your life, you may have felt a certain way. I'm going to make it very light, but let's say you loved chocolate back, 20 years ago. And now you're starting to realize, oh, I don't love chocolate. I like vanilla. And so, releasing the chocolate from your experience and bringing in the vanilla is important. That happened with me with caffeine. I came to a point where I used to love drinking coffee. I can't take in as much caffeine anymore. I just can't. It really affects me physically. And so I have, new habits that I've released the caffeine from my experience. But really for you guys this is more of an energetic level. This is more about something that you probably know once you saw this card of release that you need to release, whatever that is. If it's a situation, a person, an old paradigm, an old belief system that you had, an old place of living, an old job, whatever, there's something that needs to be released from your experience or from your own energy so that you can create more, right? And go forward. So let's see what the Zen cards say for you. And as we guide ourselves through the topic of release, shedding. Okay. All right. Your starting point, Virgo, is clinging to the past. Well, look at that. So yeah, there are things that maybe are in your energy that are staying locked up in your energy that are preventing you from moving forward, or even preventing you from being fully present in this moment. This woman has her box of memories wrapped up tight right around her head, and that's what she views and sees and engages with and clings to all day, when right in front of her, she's missing out on this sparkly life that's right in front of her, right? Because she's wrapped up with the past memories or past grudges or resentments or things that are, or past ways of being, past habits. And so that's your starting point right there. It goes hand in hand with the need to release some stuff, right? And you get to choose, how and when and what to address at what point, what it is I want to release at this time and how quickly I want to do that, or if I want to release it in different layers and not really shock my system too much by getting rid of it altogether. Whatever works for you best, that you get to determine that. You get to choose that. But the point here is the clinging is what keeps it in your experience, right? The emotional clinging, because this is a water card here, and it's a card of emotion. So that's what keeps you stuck with it. And in order to release it, then we need to recognize where we're clinging and then be willing to let it go, be willing to let it fall away. Internally, an inner, maybe even hidden vibration that maybe you're only aware of that pertains to this clinging to the past vibration is the morality card. Okay, now this is a mental energy. So we have the emotions here clinging to the past, but also within you, your mind may be telling you it's wrong to release this. I can't let go of that. Especially if this is like maybe a situation, a relationship or a job, or a living situation. I can't let that go. That would create problems. That's wrong, right? It's wrong to end that friendship because we've been friends for so long. Well, sometimes things need to release. Sometimes they need to leave your experience in order for you to even gain a better appreciation for it, just to have some separation from it and some distance. And then you can reassess whether you want to bring it back into your experience or not. But this mental sort of construct of things are either right or wrong, good or bad, black or white, life is not binary like that. But we tend to categorize it like that in our minds because that helps us, to be able to manage it better if we have labels for things. But what we want to do is maybe even for some of you, this morality, this sense of right and wrong, good and bad, labeling things is the topic that you want to release. Maybe you're working on more non-judgment in your life. Maybe that's what that is. But within you, you have a sense of what that is. Something that has been with you for a while from your past, and it has to do with this sort of labeling things or judging situations or people or ideas too harshly. And so there's a sense that if you relax some of that, that will facilitate a quicker release of some of those locked in energies, and then it opens up the path for you to move forward. Okay, so now in your external world, this awareness of things that I'm clinging to and things that I believe it only can go one way, the awareness of that leads you to an abundant attitude. This is the attitude of gratitude, right? This is realizing, yeah, maybe this is how I used to believe, but if I just allow some of that to fall away, I may realize, true abundance in my life. And I'm not talking about literal fiscal, financial, material abundance. I'm talking about how rich your life experience is and can be. The connections that you make, the family members that you engage with, the partners that you have, the work that you love, the animals the pets that you have that you love, whatever if you love gardening and have different hobbies that bring joy to you, those are all part of the richness and the abundance in your life. And I think by making a shift here, an emotional and mental shift to allow some old habitual ideas and values fall away, or to let some connections and relationships and situations fall away, it makes room for you to really realize, to really embody the abundance that's present at all times in your life. So I like this because this is an internal energy, this morality card, thinking things have to be a certain way. And once you work on having an awareness that you can release that, then in your external world, you start to realize how much abundance is around you. So I love that pattern there. I love that process for you. Okay, Virgo. So now we're going to try to reach this a new level of awareness as it relates to things that we may want to release from our experience. And the key to getting there is in this card. It's in this energy. And look what it is. No thingness. I'm laughing because it's like, it's so, it's a very simple concept to think. This is no thingness. This is not nothingness. It's no thing. It's not attaching all my happiness or all my, aspirations onto one thing or one outcome. It must be this way or I won't be happy, right? It's very human of us to do that and kind of go, this is what I want, and that's what's going to make me happy. But from an energy level and from a spiritual level, this doesn't really exist. The thing, doesn't really exist. It's what is here, what is present. How can I find the richness in my life here right now as I embody this moment, right? And then when we think of, but there's things that happen that are negative or that are bad or that are challenging, and how can I, just not, attach myself to those, wanting those things to be better, right? Well, there's a wider perspective to that as well. First of all, releasing some of our the things that we cling to and our ideals and the way we believe it must be really opens up the pathway. But, sometimes things happen and get put in our path and create a challenge for us. And sometimes hardship and heartache and trauma for us to redirect it. Sometimes this bad stuff and the crap happens in our life so that we can, first of all, detach from the need to control it, and then trust. And this is a hard one. That's a hard leap. Trust that the universe has placed it in our path for us to grow from, for us to gain more knowledge, more wisdom, the experience of having gone through, being wounded, or, the indigenous people speak of the wounded warrior, and how those who have been through the most are better equipped to help others because they've experienced it and they've grown from it and they've prevailed. So this no thingness card comes for you in the position in this spread as the key to getting yourself to a higher awareness about, anything that may need to be released from your experience, or, just a higher awareness of the way the universe works in and of itself. And usually, like I said, it's working, well, always. It's working for you. Even though it doesn't feel good, feeling good is not all that life's made up of, right? Sometimes we have to feel crappy in order to remember, oh, it's much better to feel good. Let me drop some of this stuff I'm clinging to because it makes me feel like crap, and let me move on to feeling better. So just remember, this is nothing. This is not something that is, you snap your fingers and you've achieved it. This is always a practice. It's always work, even the releasing of certain energies in certain situations. It's a practice. And this spread is one aspect or one pathway to achieving that. Okay, so more awareness about not locking in to needing it to be one certain way in order for us to achieve, our happiness, or to realize the happiness. So just have an awareness that it doesn't have to be one certain way. Okay. Now we move to this higher level of understanding, and look what it creates. Okay. The willingness to drop the past energies, to enter into more non-judgmental vibrations, focus on what's rich and good in your life, and don't attach to any certain outcome as it's pertaining to some things that we need to release. It results in a rebirth, in a new cycle of understanding, a new path. We go through this cycle. This is the camel, the lion, and the child. We go through these cycles continuously in our life. We rediscover something new, or we discover something new that we want to achieve or that we want to embark upon, then we soak it all in and we get it all learned, right? Then we get a little bit complacent. Then we kind of take a breath, rest on our laurels a minute, kind of just be with it. Then we want change. So then we start speaking up again, like the lion, and we say, okay, I want more. I want change. I want to achieve this now. And then we start the cycle over. So this is, not just being like a rebirth and then that's it, right? This is just another cycle of the experience, of your soul's experience, and releasing old information and old weight from your things that aren't working anymore and they're no longer serving you. We've heard that phrase a lot. Releasing those things results in a new path opened up, right? A new start. I love that. That's really nice. Internally and within you, that the energy that supports this vibration of rebirth is change. And I love this because I think within you, you're starting to get that, or you do know that change is constant. It's what life is. There's always new things being thrown at us. And sometimes we cling to them and keep them in our experience for a long time. And sometimes we come to a point where we realize we need to release them and create the change in our life, even though the process of life and the cycle and the way that the universe kind of throws curveballs at you, here's a new situation, deal with it. Here's a new person to engage with, and get to know and get the most you can out of that and let your soul grow from that. The changes and the things that get thrown at us are constant. That's the way the universe is. Our work is to remain solid and aligned within at a soul level, so that when this change is happening and chaos and things get thrown at us, we have the alignment required in order for us to process the change, to contend with it. Maybe we want to incorporate it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll meet this new person and hire them in my business or whatever. Change is always around us. And there's a sense that you have within you that you realize it's necessary. Like this right and wrong thing can easily be changed and it will open up a lot of new paths for you, right? This sense that things have to remain the same in order for me to stay happy, right? But sometimes just thrusting some change into your world, like a whirlwind, can be a path to more happiness as well. And like I said, we get to a point where we start to assess, okay, what do I want to carry forward with me? Especially when you get to this point of newness, new path. What is it that I want to bring with me there? Do I want to leave some stuff behind? Do I want to release, some emotions, some resentments, that kind of thing? And then the final card, this is amazing. The final card in your spread, and the thing that kind of oversees the whole process of release, is transformation. I really dig this because this is the whole thing. In order to transform and in order to create new for yourself, in order to achieve the full rebirth that your soul seeks, the release has to happen. You got to let go of some stuff in order to create new. We can't always, keep operating at the same level when our soul is evolving and growing. So our circumstances and our situation and the way our outer world is set up needs to grow and evolve as well. And in order to do that, sometimes we have to let go of some things. We have to let go of our emotional relationship to some things. Like for me with caffeine, right? Oh, I loved that morning coffee. It was like my favorite thing, but my body doesn't want it. My body does not want it. So I've had to find other ways to enjoy my morning cup. Sometimes it's decaf, sometimes it's like an adaptogen drink or a tea or whatever, but it's definitely I've had to let go of it, right? So that transformation card is ideal. It's an ideal final card for you, because in order for you to transform, your soul wants to transform. And so your your living environment also must transform in phases. So that's it for you guys. I hope that this worked for you guys. I hope it resonated. It was a great reading. I loved the path that it took. And let me know how it went for you in the comments below. And I love you guys for being here. Thank you so much. And I will see you in September.